What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. 400 Legend testing continued. Let me just say right now, check out our playlist for 400 Legend. It's extensive. If you haven't taken a look, we've got video after video after video. Now with that said, let's continue to this video. Today what we're doing is the Hornady SST. Now this is a muzzleloader bullet with that FTX red tip that we're used to from Hornady. This is a 200 grainer and we have it loaded up into a 400 Legend cartridge. I think we have a good amount of powder in there to get this thing rocking and rolling. And if it's anything like the last two muzzleloader bullets we tried, I think it's probably going to outperform the factory loading, which is a 215 grain soft point, power point, whatever you want to call it. But that's what Winchester has out right now for 400 Legend. That's the only offering we have right now, and that's why we keep doing this testing. We can just keep running a whole bunch of stuff through this cartridge to see what works and what doesn't work. We've done some handgun cartridges, now we're on to muzzleloader rounds. We are going to be shooting that out of an AR platform with a 400 Legend upper, and I always say this was made by T2 Armory, very cool people. You know them as the Bushwhacker makers. So they made this upper for us to play with and test, but they're not selling these, so there's not too many rifles out there that I know of 400 Legend yet. Hopefully they get them out there for hunting season. They said that they'd be out for hunting season 2023. Well, hunting season for me is just a little bit more than, not gun season, but hunting season in general is a little bit more than a month away from me in Ohio. So you'd like to see these things get out there in time for people to experiment with them, find what they, their perfect setup for hunting is, but I don't know if we're gonna see that. There are a couple people out there making barrels that I've heard of. There's one company making a Thompson center barrel. So maybe if you want to get your hands on a Thompson center barrel, that would be a good setup. That's a single shot rifle. But as far as ARs, I heard CMMG might be making something, I don't know. And then Savage is supposedly making bolt actions, but they said 13 models or something, but we haven't seen them yet. Winchester had something out the other day in one of their videos. They said they're not going to have their models out until 2024. That's kind of nuts. That's not hunting season 2023. But anyway, so what we're going to do is send this SST into this 10% 20-inch ballistic gelatin block. This one's a little bit dirty. It's been used a few times, but I think we're going to see what we want to see. This is a catcher block behind it. It's been hit a few times, but that's all right. I still think we're going to see what we want to see. 40 inches altogether. I don't think we'll get through it, but keep in mind that when you see us testing, we're using 20-inch blocks. A lot of people use 16-inch blocks. There's nothing wrong with that, but just as comparison, keep in mind that these are longer blocks. Hopefully our chronograph behaves because we'll catch the velocity right as it hits the block. All right, 30 feet off that gel block and chronograph. Let's see what happens. Looks like that's going to be an impressive one. Velocity is 2015. So that did pick up and move the block for sure. Our entrance wound here starts the disruption very early. Like I said, this is a used block, so it's not as clear as normal. Sorry about that, but you can see what we need to see. Good disruption all the way through. I would say the disruption keeps going for 13 inches, and that's the normal type of FTX round type of disruption you would see. It's shedding lead the whole way through. It still keeps piercing and punching, and it ends up landing right here, and I would call it at about 23 inches. A slight amount of bounce back, but you can see it right in there. It's peeled back, it's lost its petals, its talons, whatever you would call that. And it's just a lead core now. So very impressive, 23 inches. Let's look at it from the top down. Again, we immediately see the shedding of pieces of copper in there. I hope you can see that. You see also pieces of the red stuff, the plug that's in the middle. There's another piece of copper there, another piece of copper there, and some lead right next to it. So it starts losing stuff immediately and keeps on losing it. The wound path clears up right about there, and then enters the next gel block with a very tiny piercing hole, but there it lays. And it's actually very cool looking once you get it out of there. It very uniformly curled itself back. It doesn't actually have talons that are sticking out after it shed whatever it's going to shed, but very smooth, very cool. That was from the knife scraping it, trying to get it out of there. But that's a really cool curl that we have on the copper. I'd say it's definitely doing its job as intended to mushroom open. That's totally a mushroom. So Hornady SST Muzzleloader rounds, just one more option that you can hand load for 400 Legend if you get your hands on some brass and if you get your hands on a gun. I really hope somebody's actually going to be making brass so that we don't have to just fire factory ammunition to get once used brass. It'd be nice to get some new stuff. From what I've heard right now, Starline is not making it, but that's what they told me. That doesn't mean that that's necessarily the truth, but I tend to believe them. As far as loaded ammunition, I have no idea who's going to jump on board, but please, somebody, we'd like to see something. Underwood maybe, Double Tap, somebody, anybody? So hope you enjoyed this 400 Legend testing. Thank you for watching and hope to see you at the next video. Until then, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.